So now we are going to discuss a very important discussion. That is what a variable creation actually. We are trying to understand that how variables are going to create in the memory. Okay. So that is what, first of all, for creating a variable, we don't have any specific declaration like C, C++, Java. So in C, C++, Java, what we are going to do, first of all, you have to declare them before use. If you want to read that variable value, first thing is you must declare them. But in case of Python, we no need to declare any variable early actually. Okay. So the moment variable is created, assign the value to it. So whenever you have any value, if you want to store any value, at that time create a variable and then you just assign that value actually. So for better understanding, let us take one simple example. So here x equal to 5 actually. So whenever you write x equal to 5, what is going to happen is, so 5 is actually integer object and x is mapped to, that means we can say x is binded to 5 actually. Is it clear? So this is what happened whenever you write x equal to 5. And next, if you see one more statement you written like this, y equal to Python. We will explore more about strings concept because here Python is actually one string under a double quotes. But don't bother about right now what is its meaning. But let us see how y is binded to this string actually. So y variable is created and it is binded to string Python actually. And this is different story. We will see clearly, elaborately. We are going to see in strings concept actually, how strings are going to store. Is it clear? So this is what, whenever you have multiple variables, if you initialize, how those variables are binded with actual values. Okay. Then if you see, variable type can change in middle of the program. So read this line very carefully. In case of Java or C, C++, do you have this feature? That means what? Variable type, that means data type in between, you can change one of the variable. So you see here with a simple example, x equal to 5. Whenever you written x equal to 5, what happened actually? X variable is created that is binded to one integer value actually. See, actually 5 is integer, so there is a class integer. For that, this object is created. Now x is pointing to integer object actually. That is what we have to understand. Is it clear? After this line is good. Now let us see what is going to happen next. You return x equal to Python. That means same value are trying to assign. But this is integer, but this is string. Is it possible in other programming languages? So now whenever you write like this, what is going to happen is, so this binding is going to remove and a new binding is going to happen to where actually to this Python. Is it clear? So now this is string object, right? This is actually what? String object. Now x is pointing to the string object. See, now from integer to string, data type is changed. So this is what the more flexibility you have in Python, which is not possible in other programming languages. Okay. So in this way, first of all, variables we are creating and the variables are binding to the values in this way going to happen. Okay. So now let us see very important thing. In last lecture, we seen that how variable binding is going to happen. So let us try to explore that point very clearly. Okay. So that is what we are going to see, Python variable binding. So this we are going to explore especially with a simple example. So you try to follow the example actually. So nothing is there in this discussion, but this is very important whenever you want to know behind story, what is happening whenever you execute any line actually. Some operators in Python, like membership operators, or for example, you have is operator, not is operator, like this we have some other operators actually. Especially whenever you are using that kind of operators in Python, when it is going to give true, when it is going to not give true, for better understanding, this lecture is going to help you a lot. Okay. So for example, here I written a equal to 3. What is going to happen now? Integer object 3 is created. Then variable a is created at some place and a is binding to 3 actually. Is it clear? That is what actually in this step happened. Then next, for example, we have b equal to 5. So even in this case also, because assigning value is a integer object is going to create, and then b is going to binding to that integer object 5. Is it clear? So this is what in these two steps is happen. Next, if you see what is going to happen, so in the next step, you reassign with some other value a equal to 4. Earlier it is a equal to 3, now it is a equal to 4. So exactly try to understand what is going to happen in the system. Now 4 is another integer value. That means another integer object is going to create 4. And this integer object you are assigned to variable a. That means that the current binding a to 3 integer object is going to cancel actually. Why it is going to cancel? Because your a is binding to this new integer object 4. So try to observe, this is what happened. Okay, a binding is removed and a is going to binding to the new integer object. So that is a to 4 actually. So ultimately, this is what the case. So a is now binding to 4. And very, very importantly, you have to understand 3 integer object 3, this one. So this one is not at all removed from the memory. That is what you have to understand. This is still exists even after a is binded to 4. Don't think that in C programming, for example, a is initially 3. Now whenever this line is executed, what is going to happen? This location, in this location, 3 is overwritten with 4. This is in C programming. But in case of Python, not that case. See here, 3 still exists as a separate integer object. Now 4 is created and the a is binded to that one. Is it clear? Then next, if you see further extension, if I write a equal to 4, what is its meaning actually? Now it is very important. A equal to 4, when you write, what is going to happen? You see, your intention here is to where b is binded, to that position, to that object, you want to bind a also. So that is why this binding is going to cancel and then it is binding to 5. And result is this one. Is it clear? So in this way binding is happening. Okay. Now if you see next, and still if you try to observe, these two still exist in the memory. Okay. So don't think that a equal to 5 means a is separate memory 5, b separate memory 5. Both of them pointing to the same in Python. But in C or C++, this is what happened. But in Java, you can observe this is what the flexibility we are going to have. And then next, if you see what is going to happen. So here we actually you see now in your program somewhere you written b equal to 6. At this time, what is going to happen? 6 is another integer object. So for that one object, integer object is created here. And then that's object you are binding to b actually. That means the current b binding we are going to cancel. And then b is binding to this new integer object. So in this way, now this is what the assignment actually. So after these 5 lines are executed, result is this one in the memory you can observe. So this is very, very important concept when you are writing a very core level programming actually. Okay.